So, in today's episode, we will be talking about understanding women. This is coming from a guy's perspective. Before starting, I would like to give a disclaimer that I'm not a consultant or a trained psychiatrist. I'm just sharing my opinion on this topic and the observations that I have made on the women in my life, and whatever I have come to understand, I'll just try to present it in my own words. The content for this episode will be divided into two parts majorly. First will be the understanding the woman's psyche, and second will be understanding how women perceive material things. So, starting with understanding women's psyche. So, from my observation, uh, the best way to describe it would be women are like walking chaos. When I say chaos, I don't mean it in a negative sense. It's just that the amount of information that a woman is processing at a given point in time, if I look it from a guy's point of view, it will look to me as chaos. I have come to understand that, and also I have read it in few books, that there is no concept of turning a woman's brain off. As guys, we have this God given gift that at any given point in time, I can switch my brain off. No questions asked. If you would plug a screen on to my brain at that point in time, all you'll get is a blank screen, at most a screensaver. That's it. So it was quite hard for me to understand that it's such a simple thing for me as a guy, and but for women this facility is just not available. So so when we are trying to understand like how they think and what's going on in their head at any given point of time, so you will have to see that they are processing 1000 different things at any given point in time. And whenever you are talking to her or your partner or any other woman, you will have to understand that you are not talking to that person in that instant. You are talking to the 1000 things that are going in her head at that point in time. Yes, they are very good at switching between things and prioritizing things, but you will have to understand that while you are talking to a woman, you will have to get her out of that chaos first. Let her come to you, then speak. It's not that she's intentionally ignoring you or intentionally uh, trying not to listen to you. It's just very natural that at any given point in time there are 1000 things going on in her head. It's beyond her control, and it's something that she has become very accustomed to living with. There is nothing wrong with it, but as guys we will have to understand that this is just a different way of processing things. I'll give a bit of more context to this so that it makes sense to the guys more. When I'm talking to you as a guy or to any of my guy friends, I am there in that moment with you. The only thing that that is going on in my head is the conversation that I had with you, that I'm having with you at that point in time, and the facts related to it. I can go back and recall something from the past and bring it up in the conversation. Everything that is going on in my head at that point in time is related to the conversation. That's it. That's why the communication with guys among themselves, it's so smooth. Sometimes we don't even have to use words to mean what we say. We can just look in their eyes and we can tell them, okay, this is what I mean. That's why the bro code is so strong always, because the conversational is one dimensional. When it comes to women, from what I have understood is that even though they are talking to you, okay, it's like the CPU of a computer prioritizing tasks. Let's say if you have a computer and you are running like 10,000 different programs on it. So let's say if you want to open a new program, let's say if you want to open Chrome, or if you want to open Firefox, or if you want to watch a video on Netflix. So the computer, the CPU, what it does is that it prioritizes Netflix at that point in time and allocates a certain capacity of its processing power to Netflix, so that the Netflix doesn't lag and it works smoothly. Similar thing happens when you're talking to women. If you are important to them, okay, and if they are talking to you, at that point in time they are just allocating a part of their processes or like a part of their thinking capacity to you. That is not 100%. You will have to understand that she is allocating as much memory as she can. In the back of her mind, it could be very possible that while you are talking to this person, there could be 1000 different things going on. She could be talking to you while in the same like in the same instance, at the back of her mind she might be thinking about the dress that she didn't buy, or about that random stranger, or that person who left a comment on her Instagram 3 years ago, or somebody that made like a sarcastic remark on her looks 5-6 years ago. In that same moment, it is not that she's intentionally doing these things, it's just how women process things. That is why when guys see that, okay, if she's talking to me, she's only talking to me, and when they find out, okay, no, she's doing some other things as well, they get very offended. That, okay, no, why is she not, does it mean that I'm not very important to her, that she's so busy with other things as well? No. If you are thinking this, then you are thinking it in the wrong way. It is just how she is. It is just how women process things. If she is talking to you, that means she has priority for you. She's talking to you, right? If you are expecting her to react or give you her 100% attention, then you are expecting her to react like a guy, which is not going to happen, which is never going to happen, because she's not a guy. She is not you, right? She's not one of your friends. Second thing that I see with women is that the more pretty she is, the more insecurity she has for some reason. This is just my observation. I don't know how grounded in reality it is, but whatever I have seen by observing women in my periphery is that the more beautiful she is, the more insecurity she has. It's like directly proportional to it for some reason. And this baffled me for quite a long amount of time, that, but you are so beautiful, why do you think of you in such an ugly and monstrous way? You are one of the most beautiful women that I have ever seen. But when I dug deeper into it, I realized that it's not that she doesn't think she is beautiful, it's just that she's very sensitive about her looks. Because in our society, women's body and how she looks and how she behaves has been so dramatized and so ingrained into her that, okay, a woman has to look 100% at every given point in time. She has to look perfect, she has to behave perfect. So this has made her quite sensitive about her looks. And the moment somebody points out, okay, this might be something better, or okay, this is what it is, that ingrained, I would say, trauma would be a big far away word to go, but I'll use it. That the trauma kicks in. Okay, is there something wrong with me? Why is he noticing me now? So this, coupled with the other 1000 things that are going in her head, this is why women start to behave very differently if you compliment them. They do appreciate it at times, but their insecurities also start bubbling up. So as a guy, I believe we should understand that she is not doing it intentionally. We'll have to understand that every action that a woman is doing, or the word she's saying, it is coming from somewhere. There are things that we don't know. Maybe something, some random person in their family or some random friend 10 years ago commented on something which made her feel insecure, and when you made the same comment, even in a different context, that memory popped up, and that is what it is, causing her to behave in certain way. From like whatever I have spoken to women in general, I believe that everyone has a story to tell, and that's how they communicate. They will tell you if you are genuinely interested in understanding them and not just trying to get into her pants. They will tell you exactly who they are, what they think, how they think, and what kind of things that they go through in daily life. So I believe that instead of you know trying to make them perfect, we will have to understand that women's and everybody's imperfection in general is what makes them perfect. I am not perfect. I'll never be perfect. I have understood this and I have accepted this. The women in my life are not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. But what makes them so perfect is their imperfection and how they are trying to be perfect. I think the effort is what it counts. Now, coming to the topic that if I am a guy, so, and I'm not very aware like how women think and how uh, to support my partner. So, what can I do? Or how can I be that supportive guy? So, first of all, you will have to understand that every woman is, like every person in general is fundamentally different. So, there is no one shoe fits all. But there are some general things that I have observed that might work for most of you. So, let's say if you have a fight with someone, your partner, and this goes both ways. Your partner could be a guy, your partner could be a girl. In general, when you are uh, having a fight for some random reason, couples know that better. That if you're having that fight, you will have to understand one thing, that there are lines that are not to be crossed. Doesn't matter if you have been together for 10 years, you have been together for 15 years, or you have been recently married, or you have just come into a relationship. The when we are in a relationship with someone, eventually we get to know their weak points. We know where it, if we touch this point, it will hurt the most. When we are angry, we usually try to bring that point up. I'll give an example. Let's say if a guy is very insecure about his earning, and in a relationship the fight happens and the women starts pointing this thing out just out of spite because she's angry at that point in time. It doesn't mean she hates the person. It's just that at that point in time, in spite, she just says, okay, because if you're so good, then why can't you make more money? Just so that it hurts him the most. The coin could be flipped on here. If a guy knows that my partner is trying to lose weight, and in a fit of anger, he just comments it out. Okay, If you are so good, then why do you keep eating 15 burgers every day, and why can't you lose weight? Knowing that it hurts their partner the most, they could win the argument at that point of time by hurting the person, both the guy in this situation and the girl in the previous situation, but they will lose the war. They'll win this battle, but they'll lose the war, because there are lines that you do not cross. Doesn't matter how angry you get. A relationship, by its definition, asks for sacrifices. The more permanent sacrifices, the bigger the relationship, the more prominent the sacrifices, the differences become. It's not that it's a bad thing. It's just that when you love someone and you go into a relationship with someone, you start growing together, not as individuals. Your priorities might change, but you are still growing. So you will have to understand that there are lines that you do not cross. Doesn't matter how angry you get, because as of now you might win that argument for time's sake, but eventually that will come back to you. Why? Because there will be a time when you will be not at your 100%, and when the other person will point out something that will make you feel insecure. So you will have to put that it's a two-way street. What goes around comes around. So you will have to understand that if you have found out, okay, if my partner is very sensitive about such and such topic, be it a guy or be it a girl, you will have to understand that whatever happens, you will have to avoid bringing this topic up if you are having an argument. If they are doing the same to you, you will have to point it out that this is a two-way street, and you can, and we both can go this way. You can hurt me where it hurts me the most, and I can hit you where it hurts the most. But what will it do to our mutual trust and our relationship in the long run if we keep doing this to ourselves? That is where you'll have to draw the line, that okay, doesn't matter how heated the argument gets, these are some things that we are not going to bring up. And I believe once you start having that boundaries, even though you will have arguments, you will have fights, it won't impact your relationship on a personal level. It will be just another fight, and then things will eventually come back to normal. It is completely fine to have fights in a relationship. I'm not sure why people have come to this understanding that okay, people who don't fight are the most happy couple. That is the stupidest thing I've heard in my whole life. It's physically like, if you are two different people and you come from a two different set of perspectives, they are going to clash at some point in time. It could be that my favorite singer is Selena Gomez, and my partner doesn't like Selena Gomez, and she keeps commenting on Selena Gomez. Then eventually it's going to come to me, right? Like, why she's such a good singer? Why do you keep bringing her down? It's not that she's not that bad. You don't like it, but I do, right? So it's completely fine to have an argument in a relationship. It becomes a problem when you're trying to be perfect for the world. That no, I don't have any argument with my partner, I'm so perfect, our relationship is so perfect. That's when the problem starts, because you stop facing the actual problem of your arguments and you try to put this brave face, and then slowly your emotions start being repressed, and once they bubble up, once you are not able to carry on, something worse happens than those fights. So I guess the main takeaway from this would be that whatever you do, if you love your partner and if you understand them enough, that you know their weak points, any argument or in any spite of anger, avoid bringing those topics up. It's fine to lose that argument, but it will help you in the long run. Each of us have an emotional cycle. There are days when we are happy, then there are days when we feel sad. With women, it's like a wave. There are days when her emotional wave is rising and she's all loving, all caring, and every positive emotion that is there, she is exuberating that. Okay, but there is a limit to it, which is the highest point of the wave. After that, the wave crashes, and this change happens so suddenly that for most guys it's just illogical. It doesn't make sense. What happens is that the the person who was so loving and so caring just a few days ago is now completely in a negative state of mind. And you will have to understand that this is just her cycle. It's a woman's emotional cycle. It's her emotional wave crashing. The more negative she becomes, okay, you don't have to take it personally at that point in time. It's not because of you, it's just that she is going through her natural cycle. You will have to allow her to feel what she is feeling. There could be a case where she is feeling negative, she talks to you, uh, you try to help her out or support her, and then she becomes more negative. So it has nothing to do with you, it's just that it's her cycle. You will have to understand that it's completely fine if let her hit rock bottom, because the wave has to crash. Just be there for her, just keep comforting her and letting her know that I am still here for you and it is completely fine. You can be this if she's insecure about her looks, you can tell her that you can be the Frankenstein's monster. I will still love you and I will still be here for you. When she feels this support from you, okay, this love coming from you, she will eventually bounce back and her wave will start rising again and she will be all loving and all caring, just like she was a few days ago. But you will have to let her go through this process. There is no other way around it. With women, you will have to let them go through their emotional cycle. If when her wave is crashing, you start pointing it out, if you start pestering her that okay, why are you so negative all the time, but you were so happy a few days ago, you just had this, it was so good when you were so happy a few days ago, and now you are crashing, now you are so negative, what happened? The moment you start pestering and start judging her, this cycle will get disrupted for her. Then she will, instead of letting this emotional cycle go through as natural, she'll start hampering it by trying to be forcefully happy and forcefully trying to go through the emotional waves again by trying to force herself to be happy and force herself to be supportive and force herself to be loving and caring. And this disruption of the natural cycle will eventually shorten her span of being happy and increase the span of her being negative, because you have disrupted her emotional cycle and the natural flow in which she used to process her emotions. We as people have to understand that we cannot be at our 100% every single day. it is physically impossible. And we should not be expected to be at 100% each day by our at least our partners. This goes for guys and girls equally. For guys, the emotional cycle is like a rubber band. The guys, uh, when there are times when he's all loving and all caring, okay, and then he starts to pull away. But as women, pulling away and being silent means that the person, like in women's psyche, it is such that if a person is going silent, it means that something is wrong or they have lost faith in me, and that is why they start pestering the guy. What happened? Why are you going so silent? Talk to me, please. And the guy starts to feel guilty that okay, I'm uh, not able to support her. I'm just in a mood to support her, I just don't feel like it. But he forces himself again to support her. Now if the woman is aware that okay, this is like a rubber band, so the guy is just stretching out to gain some autonomy, he'll eventually come back. You just have to wait, let him go through the cycle. If it's a wave for you, it's the rubber band for him. You will have to give him the time to come back. He's not abandoning you or trying to forcefully make you disappear from his life. If he had to do that, he would have filed for a divorce or he would have asked you for a breakup. He won't do this in so emotionally manipulative way. He would tell it straight to you that it's not working out, or he would do some stupid thing. But he won't do it like this, that without telling you, he will just start to pull away if you are in a relationship with him for some time now. Let him go through this cycle. Once he's back, he will be the same loving and caring guy that he always was. Both of you now will have to understand each other's cycle. There is no scientific way to find the exact date and coordinates of when the wave will hit or when it will come crashing down, or how far the rubber band will stretch. Through trial and error, you will have to understand your partner and put in the effort to understand their emotional cycles. The conflict happens when the women's wave is crashing and at the same time the guy is pulling himself away. If you don't have the emotional compatibility to figure these things out instinctively, both of your relationships will suffer. The women will not be in a place to be loving and supporting, or be in a place where she could be accepting enough to let the guy go away, pull away temporarily. The guy, because he's seeking some sort of autonomy, will not be in a mental state to be the loving and supporting person that you currently need. And because both of you are at your extreme ends of your cycles, it is just that it has nothing to do with you not loving your partner or you not caring for them enough. It's just your emotional cycles. You will have to be smart enough to understand and realize this, and do not take this personally. That okay, when I was at my rock bottom, he was not there, and when I wanted autonomy, all she wanted was to be loving and caring, which I was not able to provide. You will have to talk this out and understand where your partner is, in which mental state they are, which emotional state they are. And if you are not at your 100%, tell them that okay, I love you, I care for you, but currently I am not in a mental state to be there for you or support you and love you in a way that you are expecting me as of now. And just give me some time. I'll just let me get through this and I'll be there for you. as long and in every way that I can be. Just let me go through this. If both the guy and the girl are smart enough to tell them, understand and discuss these their cycles with their partner, and they are compatible enough to discuss these things, most like the sourness of the relationship will go away, because the 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 relationship goes sour when we start feeling that our needs are not being met. We cannot express them directly because we feel that it will be uh, not appropriate to talk about these things, but it should be. If you are in a healthy relationship, it should be the norm that you are not at your 100%, so I cannot expect you to be at your 100% and give me the love and care that I want. Same goes with me. If I am not at 100%, you cannot expect me to give my 100% forcefully. If we start just discussing these small things and understanding like our partners, I believe the relationship will go through the rough patches quite easily. It's not going to be easy starting day one, because you will have to give yourself time to be that strong. You'll have to give yourself time to be that independent. You'll have to be give yourself you have to give yourself time to be that emotionally caring and supportive. It will not happen in a day. It's a continuous process, but eventually the rough patches of relationship, you will be able to glide them over. And mostly once you start understanding like where your partner is coming from, these things and the issues that you are currently having, where you are feeling that your needs are not being met, you will start to see like what is the actual cause of it, and is it is it actually your partner's fault, or is it something that is beyond their control. Once you understand this difference, and your relationship will become more stronger than it was, and you will become more accommodating for your partner, and eventually they will also become more accommodating for you as well. So it's a win-win. It only what it only requires is that you both give time yourselves to understand your partner's cycles. Now coming to how women and men perceive material things. Let's say when you're trying to gift your partner something. With men, it's usually result oriented. The bigger, the bolder the thing is, the more points you earn. Love points. Let's call them love points. Let's say if you give me, if I like flowers, so if you give me one daffodil or like one rose, you get 1 point. But if you give me 10,000 roses in a big bouquet that's bigger and bolder, you get 10,000 points. With women, it's more of a process oriented approach. So if I give my partner one rose or 10,000 roses, I'll only get 1 point because they are flowers. What matters to women more is the process of it. If while giving that rose, I tell the process of it. Okay, so I was walking down the street and I saw this rose, and then I remembered on that day you were telling how much you love roses, and how much it would make your day if someone one could randomly bring you this red rose, and give it simply to you and say how much they love you, how much it would make your day. So it reminded me of how much I love you, and then I bought the rose, and here you go, and I love you so much. Just adding these few words, your point percentage will exponentially increase. How do I know this, even though I am single? Because I asked the women in my life that what would you prefer more, the result based approach or the process based approach, and every woman that I talked to spoke the same thing, that it would mean them more if they could understand the process behind you gifting this thing. So this is what I believe, what men don't usually understand, that just because the gift is bigger and bolder doesn't make it better. It's only that that's why they say it's the thought that counts. This is what it is referring to. It's the process of how you go about acquiring that gift, and what was in your mind when you were acquiring that gift or buying it for your partner. What made you think of her? That is the thought is what is more valuable to her than the actual gift itself. Of course, she appreciates the gift as well, but the thought behind it, the process behind it, is what adds more like extrinsic value to the gift that you are given. So if guys are more mindful of the process, and instead of saying no no I just saw it and I bought it for you, instead of and giving them the whole process of it, they would start to earn more love points from their partners. So in conclusion, I would like to say that you will have to understand that you and your partner are two separate individuals, and only with time and continuous love and support will you be able to understand who they are, and you will have to provide them that space where they can be themselves. And for the men, I would say that you are not in trouble till she is complaining or talking to you. You are in trouble when she stops speaking. And for the women, I would say that remember this, that women forgive but they never forget. But men, they forget but they never forgive.